Welcome to this Prana Flow class for the sacral chakra. Let's just begin by sitting in easy pose, either cross-legged or any other variation that you prefer. Just closing down the eyes, taking a few deep breaths, bringing yourself into the present moment, bringing your awareness into the body. Eyes are closed. Spine is lifted, lengthened. You can roll the shoulders up and back. Just notice the quality of your mind, inviting in whatever thoughts want to come through, just observing them and allowing them to pass on, not attaching to those thoughts, just redirecting yourself back into the body, following the breath, the movement of the breath, the sound of the breath, the feeling of the breath. And just connecting your roots down into the earth, feeling grounded. And then bringing your palms together in front of the heart and begin to rub the palms together nice and quickly. We're creating heat and friction between the hands, stimulating our nadis. We have 72,000 energy pathways or nadis in the body. Let's get that moving. You're going to feel heat and friction. And then bring the hands about a foot apart. Close the eyes and focus your attention between the palms of the hands. We have small chakras here. Just see if you can feel the subtle energy between the hands. And you can play with this distance. And then bringing the palms together to touch with the thumbs resting on the sternum at the center of the chest. We're going to begin by chanting Om 3 times. So inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale completely. And inhale to begin. And inhale deeply through the nose. Suspend the breath, lengthen the spine, and just set an intention for the class. Exhale, release the hands, bringing the palms to rest on the knees and Gyan Mudra, thumb and index finger touching. We're going to begin with a pranayama called the 1-minute breath. Now, this breath is a foundational breath practice in the Kundalini Yoga practice, and it is very effective at building endurance, strengthening the diaphragm, and building your lung capacity. So it's a practice that you build on over time. So it's another really fantastic one to practice every day, even for just 5 minutes. you'll notice a very big difference in the length of time that you're able to inhale, suspend, and exhale. So eventually, the goal of the 1 minute breath is to breathe one time per minute. So the inhale is for the count of 20 or 20 seconds. The suspended, we suspend the breath for the same, the count of 20 or 20 seconds, and exhaling for the count of 20 or 20 seconds, and then beginning again. I recommend starting with 5 to 8 seconds and working your way from there. You can change the amount of time with each breath. However, make sure that if you're inhaling for 8 seconds, then you're also suspending the breath for 8 seconds and exhaling for 8 seconds. If you're inhaling for 12 seconds, then you're suspending the breath for 12 seconds and exhaling for 12 seconds. And if one aspect of the breath is harder than the other, and you, like for example, say you can't hold the breath for 12 seconds, but you can inhale and exhale for 8 seconds or 12 seconds, you can only suspend the breath for 8 seconds, then stick with 8 seconds for all of them until you build the capacity to suspend the breath for longer. Okay, so just going at your own pace, making yourself comfortable. Spine is nice and tall, chest is lifted. The hands are just in Gyan Mudra for this one, so palms are facing upwards with the thumb and index finger coming to touch. Eyes are closed. And begin. So we're going to use our diaphragmatic breath, sending the breath into the belly first, letting the belly expand out. And then slowly drawing that breath up into the chest, all the way up to the clavicle. Suspending, no clenching. As you're suspending, notice your face, your shoulders, your neck. Relax any tension that you're holding. And exhaling through the nose, from the clavicle first, then the chest, and then drawing that belly in towards the spine, making sure to expel all of the breath before you begin again. Let the sound of the breath be what you meditate on. No judgment. It's all right if you do it longer in one breath and shorter in the next. Making this your last breath. When you're finished, just staying here and just allowing the breath to relax and come to its own natural rhythm. That was 5 minutes, and that's a great practice to do every morning. At the back of your mat, we're going to do a bit of a warm-up. This is a Kriya for contemplation. It's called Padam Kadam Dadam Kriya. So starting at the back of the mat, I'll just demonstrate first. So we're going to begin by stepping the right leg back. Inhale, arms rise up above the head, reaching up and looking up. And here you're reflecting on who you are, where you are in this present moment. So it's a present moment. And then on the exhale, you're going to come into tree pose, bringing that right foot into the left thigh, or you can also bring the right foot into the left shin, or you can also bring the toes to touch the floor with the heel just resting on the shin and just playing with your balance. So from here, your hands are going to come to the center of the chest in prayer mudra. And here you're reflecting on balance, where you need more balance in your life. That's the exhale. So we're going to be moving a lot quicker, but just as I'm demonstrating here. So this is the exhale. On the inhale, you're going to bring that right foot forward. And we're going to bring the left heel onto the floor, angled out at about a 45 degree angle, bending into the right knee. You want the knee to be over the ankle. You don't want to be going past the ankle, okay? So nice and tight there. It can be less than, but just not more. And from here, you're going to pretend like you have a bow and arrow. You're going to bring your hands into fists with the thumbs pointing up. You're going to draw your bow and arrow. Pull that bow back
and you're going to look at the right thumb. And from here, you're reflecting on action, what action you need to take in your life to bring more balance that you just reflected on. So that's the inhale. And then on the exhale, coming back to a mountain pose with the feet together to touch, and then cupping the hands in front of the heart, bringing the sides of the hands and the pinkies together, and just staring into the palms of the hands. And here you're reflecting on surrender and just surrendering to the divine, to divine timing. You've now reflected on the present, where you need more balance, and what actions you're going to take to bring more balance. And now you're going to surrender to the universe, to the source, to creator, that will all happen in divine timing as it's meant to. And then we begin the sequence again. So I'll show you one more time using the left leg. So we're going to alternate between left and right. So inhale, left leg comes back. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale, archer. And exhale, back into mountain pose. So coming to the top of the mat. Actually, let's move that out a bit. And inhale, arms rise, looking up, stepping the right foot back, reflecting on the present moment. Exhale, tree pose, reflecting on balance, where you need balance. Inhale, archer, stepping the right foot forward, planting that left foot, drawing your bow and arrow, looking at the right thumb, what action you need to take. And exhale, back into mountain pose, surrender. Inhale, stepping the left leg back. Exhale into tree. Inhale, archer. Pull that bow and arrow back, open the chest, looking at the left thumb. Exhale, back into mountain. Inhale, step the right leg back. Exhale, tree. Inhale, archer. Exhale, mountain. Step the left leg back, inhale. Exhale, tree. Inhale, archer. Exhale, mountain. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, moving at your own pace now. And just pausing here, surrender. Now coming to the center of the mat, bringing your feet a little bit more than hip distance apart. Bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor. We're going to inhale. Exhale, bring the right hand down to touch the left leg or foot. Exhale, inhale, rise. Exhale, bring the left leg down to touch the right foot. Inhale, rise. Continue. Moving at your own pace with the breath. Inhaling to rise. Exhale, folding, crossing over to the opposite side. This works on the digestive organs. Opens the low back, the sacrum. If your balance is okay, then close the eyes and see how that changes. Might need to use a bit more of the stability muscles in the legs. And it challenges you with balance. Inhale, each inhale, keep lifting the chest and lengthening the spine completely before folding again. And inhale, coming center. Suspend the breath, hold the arms up. And exhale, release the arms. Just pausing here for a moment. Now bringing the feet together to touch or just a little bit apart, whichever you prefer, depending on balance-wise. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms, reaching the arms up, lengthening the spine. You don't want to feel any pinch in the lower back, so it's a lengthening or reaching up. This is our inhale, exhale, folding forward. Through the nose, eyes closed if you can. Lengthening a little bit taller with each inhale and folding a little deeper with each exhale. Moving faster, slow, it doesn't matter as long as you're following the rhythm of your own breath. And inhale deeply, reaching the arms up, stretch. Suspend the breath, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, bringing the arms down. Pausing here. From here, bringing our arms, our legs back out to just over hip distance. Bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor, making a fist with the hands with the thumbs pointing upwards. On the inhale, we're going to twist to the left and look to the left. And on the exhale, twisting to the right, looking to the right. I should say your head is turning. You're not looking, your eyes are actually closed. Unless you have issues with balance, in which case leave them open, because it makes quite a big difference. Powerful breath through the nose, eyes closed, focused on the third eye point. Inhale left, exhale right. Feet are firmly planted in the floor, very slight bend to the knees so you're not locking the knees. Working on clearing the mid-spine, the ribs, and we're also clearing our aura. Again, moving at your own pace in rhythm with your own breath. It might seem like I'm going too quickly for you, then that's fine. You use your own discernment and go slowly. And inhale, come center. Suspend the breath, hold the arms up. Exhale, release the arms. And just pausing here, relax the arms, the shoulders completely. Bring the feet closer together. Just observing the sensations in the body. Notice the space surrounding the body. You've really charged your aura with these 3 movements that we've just done. And from here, coming back onto the floor to come to lie on the back. So from here on the back, we're going to bring our arms into a T position and draw the right knee
into the chest. With your left hand, grab onto the right knee and draw the right knee over the left leg, coming into a twist. Just breathing into the right side body, into the right hip. Keeping that right shoulder anchored to the floor. If you notice the right shoulder popping up, then just bring that right knee back closer to center a little bit. And then on an inhale, bringing yourself back to center, release the right leg down. Bringing the left hand back into that T position. Now this time, anchoring that left shoulder onto the floor, drawing the left knee into the chest. Bring the right hand to grab hold of the left knee and draw the left knee over the right side. Deep breaths into the belly. And on an inhale, drawing the left leg back to center. Bring the right knee to meet the left. Give yourself a hug. You can gently rock side to side. Squeezing those knees in towards the chest. See if you can relax the hips, the hip flexors, wherever you're feeling perhaps a pinching sensation. See if you can relax and release in that spot. And releasing the legs down. This next one is called stretch pose. And in stretch pose, we're using the breath of fire. So as a reminder, the breath of fire is that fast-paced, rhythmic breath through the nose. So it's like that hyperventilating through the nose, where the inhales and the exhales are equal. You're focusing your attention on the exhale, and the inhale will happen naturally. So there's a couple variations. One modification, actually maybe I'll show you the full expression first and then I will show you the modification options. So for the full expression of the pose, you're going to squeeze the legs together, squeeze the ankles together, point the toes, keep the feet together. The arms are going to come alongside the thighs with the palms facing the body. We're going to lift the heels off the floor 12 inches and lift the head and look at the toes. I was going to say head, neck, and shoulders, but the shoulders, for the most part,
the backs of the shoulder blades stay on the ground. So it's just the neck that you're lifting, gazing at the toes and breathing that breath of fire. So it looks like this. Six inches. I think I might have said 12. It's 6 inches off the floor. So that's the full expression. Also the most difficult to hold and sustain for the 1 minute that we're going to be doing it. The modification version is to take the hands and place them under the bum. This really creates a lot more support for the low back if you have not quite built all of those abdominal muscles quite yet. This makes it quite a bit easier. You can lift the head up and look at the toes, or you can just keep the head on the ground. Again, breath of fire. And another option is to just lift 1 foot at a time, still breathing the breath of fire, and then switching feet. The only thing with this one is you want to try and have the feet lifted for an equal amount of time. I'll try to have my phone set up here because it has my timer, so I can tell you when we're halfway. But sometimes that nobody wants to know the halfway point. But I'll leave it to you anyway in case you choose to have only 1 foot lifted. Okay, so getting ready. If you have any issues with the neck, you can keep your neck on the floor, or you can use a foam block to have just to support the neck so that you're lifted slightly but not all the way. Really pressing, focused on pressing the navel in towards the spine. So you're, if you're going to focus on something, you're focused on pushing the back into the floor. You want your whole low back to be touching the floor. So you can even do that right here, right now. You'll see as you're relaxed, you have a natural curve to the low back. If you draw the navel in and press the low back so that the low back is touching the floor, that is what you want to be holding as you're breathing the breath of fire in this pose. This is a pose for the solar plexus, which is our center of will, and it brings a huge release in energy in the sacrum and the abdominal region and all of the organs that reside in this abdominal region, right? We're really bringing a lot of prana into this space, and we're generating a ton of energy. So after we're finished this pose, we're going to rest for a minute, the same amount of time as we do the pose. So if you're practicing this one at home, if you do it for a minute and a half, then at least rest for a minute and a half when you're finished. Talking all this now because once I'm doing the pose, I can't talk. Well, or not very well anyway. Okay, we ready? Powerful breath, equal inhales, equal exhales. Squeeze the legs together, 12 inches off the floor, and begin. Eyes are focused at the toes, not closed in this one. And we're at the halfway point. For those of you who have only one leg up, switch the leg now. Squeeze the legs together and the feet together to help you hold the pose. And inhale deeply. Suspend the breath, hold, and squeeze the mulband, the root lock. So squeezing the sex organs, the rectum and the navel. Squeeze, hold. Exhale, release. Relax completely. Observe the body.
Observe the belly, the solar plexus. Just let all that energy move. Let it go wherever it needs to go in the body. Whatever body systems need that prana, that life force. Bringing the knees up and planting the feet on the floor. Just roll yourself over onto the right side and come onto the belly. Continuing with another challenging one where we use the breath of fire. This is called bow pose. And again, we're working on the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. It's also a heart opening chakra, and this is a pose that's really good for women to practice. So I'll show you the full expression. So for the full expression, you're going to bend the knees and grab hold of the feet, and then lift the feet and the chest looking up. And here we're breathing the breath of fire. Other options are to just stay down, hold the feet, lift the chin. You can hold the feet and just keep the head down. You can, if you cannot reach your feet, then you can pause this and grab a scarf or a yoga strap to wrap around the feet, in which case you would grab onto the strap or the scarf and just lift the chest. It's going to give you all very similar sensations and stimulation of the organs and the pelvis. And this one can be challenging if you don't have a lot of flexibility in the back. So being really mindful of your back in this one. You can also just come onto your elbows with the legs bent. You can have your strap much longer, or a scarf much longer, wrap it around, draw the scarf around the foot on each side, and just hold like this on the elbows. It's another option that is not quite so challenging for the back, because in this one, when we're lifting the legs upwards, we're using a lot of muscles alongside the back, which is excellent. It's excellent to build these muscles, but you might find that you're pretty sore the next day because you don't use these muscles very often unless you have a regular, quite vigorous practice where you're doing this pose quite often. Even for myself, if I'm been doing a Kriya that doesn't have this pose and then I do it again, I will often notice that I have some soreness in the next couple days, and I don't mind that soreness. It's not an injury type soreness. It's a muscle soreness like you would get after working out at the gym. So please use your discernment. I don't want you to have any kind of injuries or anything in this pose, but it's a really excellent pose to practice. So pausing and finding whatever props you need, and if you find breath of fire is too difficult because you're actually on your belly, then just revert to long, deep breathing at any time. Sorry, I should have said that for the stretch pose as well. If ever we're doing breath of fire and you feel like you're out of breath, short of breath, or dizzy, then you always revert to long, deep breathing.
Okay, so again with this one, we're going to do it for 1 minute and then rest on the belly for 1 minute. So getting ready for whichever variation you're doing, and begin. If you're doing the full expression and your legs are lifted, then your hands are pressing into the feet and the feet are pressing into the hands, and you're pulling upwards. The chest is lifted upwards, your gaze is upwards. Breath is powerful through the nose. And inhale deeply through the nose. Suspend the breath, hold. And exhale, release. Release the legs, release the arms alongside the body, and turn the head to one side. Breathing deeply into the belly, releasing the low back. And turning your head in the opposite direction. And bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into the hands, lifting the body up into all fours. So bringing the wrists directly beneath the shoulders and the knees directly beneath the hips. Moving into cat-cow, inhale as you dump the belly forward, releasing the organs, lifting the chest, gaze is up but the eyes are closed. And exhaling, drawing the belly in towards the chest, gazing towards the belly or the knees. And removing nice and quickly in this one, since we've already warmed up the spine. So powerful breath through the nose, and begin. If your bun is falling out, you know you're doing it right. And inhale, coming neutral. Suspend the breath, hold. And exhale. Come to sit on the heels in rock pose with the palms facing up. Thumb and index fingers come to touch. Just pausing here. Observing the quality of the mind now that we're done so many wonderful poses to release any stuck energy. Observing the ease of the breath. The peace that you have right now in this present moment. And from here, we're going to come onto the tips of the toes, bringing the heels together to touch, coming into frog pose. So the hands are in front of you on the fingertips. On the inhale, we're going to stretch the legs up. You might not be able to get your legs straight, and that's okay. Just the best you can, staying on the tiptoes, keeping the heels touching. Exhale, coming back down and looking up. So inhale, coming up on the tiptoes, looking towards the knees. Exhale, coming down and looking up. We're going to do 25 frogs, moving at your own pace with the breath. When you're finished, just coming back to sit on the heels with the palms facing up, just allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And then from here, we're going to move into a pose called saddle pose. Or in Kundalini Yoga, it's called fish pose. We're going to bring some space between the knees. That will vary depending on your knees. You can tuck some blankets between the bum and the heels if you find that you need some support there. And then from here, we're going to bring the arms behind the body. You're either going to stay here, just breathing into the tops of the thighs. You can use some props on either side of you to come down onto the elbows. You can come down all the way down onto the elbows, or you can come all the way down with the shoulders on the floor, whichever works best for you. And once you're down here, just breathing long and deep.
Sending the breath into the belly. Visualize the breath moving into the thighs, the hip flexors, and on the exhale, releasing any tension that you're holding there. And last deep breath here. Exhale. Using the inhale to help you get out of the pose. Bringing one arm up at a time. Bring yourself forward. And then just release the legs out long in front. Just give them a little shake. You can begin to pat the sides of the thighs and the shins on the outside. You can use the fists. And then spread the legs a little bit and do the same with the insides, using the palm of the hand or a fist. And then just a few sweeps of the legs on the outside with the hand. And then coming across the foot and coming on the back of the ankles and through the inside of the legs. On the outside is our yang meridian points. And on the inside is our yin meridian points. And meridians are a term that's used in yin yoga or Chinese medicine or energy medicine work. But it's very similar to the yogic phrase nadis, right? Or those energy pathways that I spoke of at the beginning when we were tuning in, rubbing our palms together. So right now we're just tracing those meridian lines. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to move into a pose called shoulder stand. So it's an inversion. So if you are menstruating, then please don't come into the full expression of this pose. You can come to sit against the wall and just bring your feet to rest against the wall, or you can lie on your back with your feet up. One's more active, yang, and the other is more yin. If you're against the wall and you're relaxing, it's more of a yin receptive pose. So I'll show you the full expression of this one. So when we're lying on our backs with our feet lifted, we're going to have our palms on the mid-back, lower back, and we're going to be supporting our body with our hands, and our elbows are going to be on the ground. So from here, we're going to bring our legs up
into the sky, bringing our hands onto the low back, the mid back, and our feet up into the air. If your legs are like this, that's okay. It doesn't matter if your legs are straight, just giving it a try. If you have any issues with your head, neck, and shoulders, then you can just stay on the back like this and you will get similar benefits. The benefits of an inversion is to bring the blood away from the extremities and give your heart a bit of a rest, so to speak. So if you'd like to try the shoulder stand, we're pressing the shoulders into the ground, bringing the hands onto the low back, elbows. The weight is going to be on the shoulders, not on the neck. The shoulders and your elbows will be holding some of the weight as well. Your hand is on the skin of the low back and you're really digging into the skin and pulling your body upwards. Just long, deep breaths, gazing at the feet. Deep belly breaths. And one last deep breath here. Exhale, slowly lowering yourself down. Just bringing the feet flat on the floor, just keeping the knees bent. Now staying here, we're going to bring our hands to touch the heels if possible. Maybe your fingers can touch the ankles. Maybe you can actually grab hold of the ankles with your hands. On the inhale, you're going to press into the feet and lift the pelvis up. On the exhale, bring the pelvis down. Continuing like that, eyes are closed, focused on the body, on the movement, on the breath. Begin. Inhale, hips rise. Exhale, pelvis comes to the floor. Feet are pressing into the floor as you lift up. Let the muscles of the legs do a lot of this work, not the low back. So if you focus on pressing those feet into the floor, you'll notice a difference between not focusing on the feet. You might tend to use your low back or the buttocks muscles more, your glutes. You might notice some heat starting to build in those glutes and hamstrings. And inhale deeply, hold the hips up, suspend the breath. And exhale, release. Just relax the low back onto the floor. And from here, we'll move into our final pose, Shavasana. Making yourself comfortable, grabbing a blanket or a very thin pillow if you need, an eye pillow, whatever you need to relax deeply. Just begin to relax the physical body. Beginning with the toes, softening the feet, the ankles, relaxing the shins, thighs and hamstrings. Release the pelvis, the low back, deep breath into the belly, relaxing all the abdominal muscles. Relax the chest, upper back, shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, and hands. Relax the neck. Unclench the teeth. And allow the tongue to rest on the upper palate. Relax the eyes. And just allow yourself to leave your physical body. And integrate the practice.
Begin to rotate the fingers, the wrists, ankles, and toes. Breathing deeply. As you're ready, you can reach the arms up above the head. Point the toes, stretch the body long. And then drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug. Gently rocking side to side. And then rocking up and down on the spine a few times. Making your way to sit. So now we're going to move into a mantra meditation called Kirtan Kriya. This is one of the most well-known mantras and in the Kundalini Yoga space. And the words they're not words, they're seed sounds, which are sa, ta, na, ma. And it means birth, life, death, and rebirth. So it's the cycle of life as we know it. And this is one of the most studied mantra meditations out there. And I've done a lot of studies on how it helps the brain, and particularly they've done studies on Alzheimer's. And so this is a really excellent one as well to practice daily if you're trying to start a meditation practice, but you struggle with being still and struggle with having a lot of thoughts. So in this meditation, we're using our hands a bit closer. So as we're chanting this meditation, with each sound, we're going to touch our thumb with each of the fingers. So for the sound sa, we're touching the thumb. Ta, we're touching the ring finger to the thumb. Na, the middle finger, then the ring finger, then the pinky. So sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. So what's so great about this one is that your focus can be on various different things. You can focus on the sounds as they're vibrating in your mouth. Right? Our mouth is an instrument, and we have all kinds of little knotty points on the upper palate of our mouth, and our tongue is tapping out this sequence when we're chanting these seed mantras. So you can focus on the vibration in your mouth. You can focus on the pressure between the fingers, and you'll have to have somewhat of a focus just to remember the sequence with the fingers at first. After a while, it just becomes second nature. Your eyes are closed, so you can really focus on keeping the eyes focused at the third eye point with the eyes closed. Finding those few different things that you can cycle through all of those different sensations to help you stay focused on the meditation. So at the beginning of the meditation, we're chanting out loud, and then there's a space in the middle where we're whispering, and then there's a space where we are not chanting anymore, but we're still mentally chanting and still moving the fingers as we're mentally chanting the sounds. And then we go back to whispering the sounds, always continuing with the fingers, and then we go back to chanting out loud. So it's chanting out loud, whispering, silence, mentally chanting,
whispering, and then chanting out loud again. This one's a bit longer. This is an 11-minute meditation. So making yourself comfortable, sitting in a chair if you need to. Just make sure your spine is nice and tall, your hands are resting on the knees, and you're preparing to touch the fingers to the thumbs. Eyes are closed, focused at that third eye point. Sadanama, 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 Sadanama,
Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Just pausing here. Notice the stillness that you've cultivated. The peaceful presence of the here and now. And we'll finish with the longtime sun. Chanting first for ourselves, chanting the second verse for someone we know, someone we love who could use the blessing, and chanting the third verse for the earth, for the world, for peace. You can either have your hands here at the heart center, or you can do the movements along with me. shine upon you, and all surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, and all surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. And we'll finish with one long Satnam with the hands in prayer mudra at the center of the chest. Inhale deeply. Sat Nam. It has been an honor and a privilege to guide you through this practice. Sat Nam. Namaste.